I really want to get this off my chest, people. And that one thing is 3 reasons why it is so hard to make money from residential property in Malaysia today. Why it's so hard for you? I really cannot tahan this already. I've seen this over and over and over again by my clients that came to me for advice. And I'm going to tell you exactly 3 reasons. Just start with the first reason. More rakyat Malaysia is falling below the poverty line. In 2020, the Statistics Department just revised the poverty line from 980 to 2002, which means that if you are earning below 2002, you are officially poor. And that's not what I say, that's what the Department of Statistics say. See, young people are spending 4 freaking years in college to learn some overhashed, outdated information, which you can actually take out your phone and just go to Google and you can get it at the tip of your fingertips anyway. And they learn that for 4 freaking years just to get an entry-level job that probably pays them slightly above the poverty line when we are talking about courses in university that seems no relevant anymore, like history, social science and all that, or even mathematics. Versus, you can actually start a YouTube channel, do what you like, do what you are doing best, like cooking, and you could actually earn a better living, like Sugu Pavitra in her YouTube channel, which, by the way, is started during the MCO when people are getting jobless. The fact is, you can't really play the property investing game well if you are not at least making like 10,000 a month yourself. Just ask people like Mark Chua, because contingency events like this are bound to happen. One of my property, the pipe just burst, and I have to redo the entire piping. I spent around 4,000 over. And if this is you, and from my experience, that could actually make your rental income for the entire year go negative. Now, this is my experience. If you really want to know what happened to my property, comments below, I'm going to tell you more what happened. Again, this problem also happens when your tenants are actually earning like 2,000 or 3,000 a month, and they are strapped for cash. They always delay your payment. They cannot afford to pay. They always defer. And then after that, they go missing. They don't pay the electricity bill. It's also not fun for you as a landlord, right? So regardless what all these property guru told you, they say that no money down. They show you testimonial from people who's earning 3,000 a month, but they have 10 properties. I want to tell you that is an exception rather than the norm. In 1990, it really takes about 4.7 times out of an average monthly income of a Malaysian to buy a home. But fast forward 30 years, in 2020, it takes about 9.5 times of your average annual income to buy a home in Malaysia. So you see, the average price of a house has gone up twice as fast compared to how the average salary of a Malaysian is going up for the past 3 decades. Ask me about where I got this data in case you thought I'm bluffing. But you can see it's getting worse. This is really getting out of hand. So when you really want to sell a property, let's say if you're a property investor, and here's the thing, you want to sell a property, everyone, whether you do it yourself, you do it with an agent, you need a willing buyer who can afford the price that you are asking to sell your property. Now, in the stock market, you know that this is easy because there's these things called Bursa Malaysia in Malaysia, where you can see at all times the system actually matches people that are willing to sell versus the people that are willing to buy at the price they are willing to sell or buy. But when you want to sell a property, there's no such system. You have to do the matching your own. You need to hunt for that prospective buyer who's not only willing to buy your property because they like everything about your property, but you also want to find that buyer who can also afford your property as well, who can actually get their loan approved. Because 99% of people are actually buying a property using bank loans, even investor. What happens if your prospective buyers can't even get their loans approved by banks? Poof, there goes your buyer. And your property doesn't matter, it's valued at a sky-high value, but at the same time, you cannot sell. And at the same time, the longer you hold it, the rental are actually going down. It's not generating enough rental income to cover your loan, your mortgage repayment. At the same time, it's not even enough for you to actually sustain a good retirement lifestyle. Your property is just sitting there like a white elephant, a freaking white elephant. And you know that rental income won't make you rich. It just helps you to sustain your property investing game. When that is gone, you cannot sustain longer. Capital gain is the place where big money is made in property. Don't you agree? However, capital gain tied to your property valuation is nothing more than a short incendiary figure in your head based on consensus opinion. Until you can turn that into hard cold cash, means that you are going to sell it, able to sell it, it means nothing. Now the fact is, the higher your property is valued at, the smaller the size of the willing and able buyers for your property. And I haven't really talked about the competition yet. Have you asked yourself, what is so special about the property that you have? What is so appealing about that, your property that you have, that in 5 or 10 years time, when your willing and able buyer can actually buy a similar property, but newer than your unit at roughly the same price, which is just 5 minutes away from where your property is being located?